How do you think the contractor could actually give you an accurate cost by just looking at the picture and just a rough dimension without knowing the member size of every single steel that goes into this? It wasn't a very pleasant one to start off with, but I had to get myself very prepared before I hop into the meeting because I want to make sure that everything is aligned and we end the meeting with a good note. The client called me over the weekend and he wasn't very happy about the project schedule because he was pushing for the job to start as soon as possible, and we weren't able to give him the cost estimation before he could decide how to move forward. I guess this is a very chicken and egg thing, and I believe every single buyer out there will really want to know how much they're paying for before they commit to something. And that got our entire team buckling up just to push things through the entire weekend. And on Monday, we stayed up until 12 a.m. And what did I learn from this? So let me share with you about how the whole scheduling and work process actually flow in the interior design project, leading up to how the client feels about it. So we made things very clear from the start where a full set of drawings is needed in order to come up with a detailed costing. Now look, imagine I showed you a picture of a metal steel gate, and then I'll give you a rough estimation of it's going to be 5 meters by 2 meters. How do you think the contractor could actually give you an accurate cost by just looking at the picture and just a rough dimension without knowing the member size of every single steel that goes into this? They would even want to know if it's an auto gate or whether you have track underneath or it's trackless. So all these play a role in understanding the cost of it. And of course, we will definitely start off with this exercise with all our contractors in order to get a gauge of the entire project. But however, we have only just confirmed the layout of this office project. And of course, that's when the client started pushing us to get him a cost. That is when this entire meeting was called yesterday. It wasn't a very pleasant one to start off with, but I had to get myself very prepared before I hop into the meeting because I want to make sure that everything is aligned and we end the meeting with a good note. So I made it very clear to the client that this entire situation was being pushed because we had to cover the entire project going from the wet works, plumbing, electrical, air conditioning, flooring, ceiling, lighting. Every single thing has to be costed in, and we had to come up with very detailed designs before we could come up with cost. I had to know how many plug points were there, how many lights, different lights, LED strip, how long were they going to be. And without proper design and drawings, I wouldn't be able to come up with it. And having the entire BQ prepared will actually take us a few days because we gotta understand the design before we jump into building up the BQ and the team. So that actually pushed us to developing more details over time just through sketches. And I was like, this is going to draw through this entire gate with all the member sizes and throw it to the contractors, a few contractors to get a cost comparison as well. And that's when phone calls start coming in. They want to meet up, they want to go site, they want to study the details further before giving the costing. And you can see that the cost variation is super huge. It could be 9,000 ringgit per gate leading up to 14,000 ringgit. So which numbers should we push to the client? And if you're going to put up 14,000, wouldn't it be unfair to the client because the contractors are overestimating because of the lack of details? I feel it is very understandable from the client's point of view because they were pushing to start work and they needed to know the cost. Without having to know the cost, they couldn't decide on the design. That is where, through our experience, we have to know by looking at this design how much will it cost, because it shouldn't be much of a difference by more than 20 or 30%, because you couldn't be showing something that is 10 ringgit and then suddenly it got up to like 16 ringgit. We started developing more and more through the building up of the BQ. We started realizing that there's so many details needed for our team to produce, and we estimated the time required to produce these drawings would actually be almost a month. We managed to come up with the entire cost of almost 2.2 million. Of course, coming up with 2.2 million, we didn't just show them it's 2.2 million. We gave them 3 options, just like how we would buy coffee from Starbucks. With 3 options, having you to just decide which preference would you need, because there are some of the times where a client would want to buy their own sanitary ware, towels, or even loose furniture. So that's where they could potentially save money from their point of view, but there'll be a lot of works, credit terms that they cannot enjoy, like what we do, right? So leading to that, we came up with 3 costing: 1.7 million, 2 million, and 2.2 million. So that's where we will differentiate what are the differences of, or we'll table out the differences of these packages, telling them what they have and what they don't have. So next up is going back to the main topic of what we were saying in terms of costing. What exactly do you need in order to produce the costing? Definitely you need to allocate at least a month or 2 for us to produce the construction drawings up to the detail. Every single nook and cranny, choice of materials has to be confirmed before we can produce the detailed costing, and that is very, very important. It will be quite unfair to you as a client because you will be getting an overestimated cost for your project, and that's where we come in as designers in order to control it, to have everything drawn and written in a black and white format to reduce the ambiguity of price fluctuations between different contractors if you were to tender the project out. So that's a little sharing that I like to put it out there with you guys who are looking to design your space, whether it's a house or an office. It is very important to look at having the design solidify, confirmation of drawings and materials before we can come in with a costing. And definitely, costing could be estimated by the square footage. So that is the only preliminary numbers that you could work with from the start. So I'll follow up with more updates on experiences and projects as such with you guys to share with you the experience of how we run our design firm. And probably as sharing the story with you, I managed to gain some insight and hope you could learn a little 1 or 2 from this. And if there's something that I missed out that I should know of as well, please share in the comments below. And I look forward to seeing you guys in the next one. See ya.